Hi, everyone. My name is Jeremy Williams, and I chose to read Chapter 11 from Faith and the Founders of the American Republic by Hall and Dreisbach. The focus of the chapter was Elias Boudinot. He was a Presbyterian and his quest for a righteous republic. I'd like to begin by looking at the background of Elias Boudinot. He was born in 1740, and he was baptized by George Whitefield, a prominent Great Awakening preacher. In the face of increasing conflict with Great Britain, Boudinot defended American rights. He opposed the Stamp Act and became an advocate of the patriot position. By 1775, he had been elected a member of New Jersey's Provisional Congress. Boudinot worked to supply the army as a private citizen. Those services led George Washington to appoint Boudinot as commissary of prisoners, a post that he accepted with reluctance. Boudinot filled this position from 1777 until 1778, leaving only upon his election as a New Jersey delegate to the Continental Congress. He viewed his position as a Christian duty to serve others and as part of God's providential plan. Because he believed that God was working through the American Revolution to bring about Republican government, his duty was to be involved in the process, even if it meant personal sacrifices. Boudinot was not involved in drafting the new national constitution, but he supported it, and he would be elected to the House of Representatives. He supported the Washington administration in assuming state debts, funding the national debt, establishing the Bank of the United States, and putting tariff in place. To understand how Boudinot and other Presbyterian clergymen and Presbyterian followers impacted the American Revolution and honestly formed a new nation, we need to look at his religious beliefs, and we're going to focus on Boudinot here. He grew up around key figures in the Great Awakening, and he seemed to have listened attentively to their messages, urging his friends to be converted. His religious visions cohere around three central elements: belief, providence, and action. Right? Belief was entered by a definitive process of conversion, a new birth. Providence for Boudinot meant a personal deity actively watched over, engaged with, and affected events in the world. Boudinot believed that God's sovereignty embraced specific plans for both individuals and nations. Because of Boudinot's belief in providence, he could participate in the affairs of the world, assured that this worldly matters were not products of chance, but of a divine plan. Believing himself to be within the plan, Boudinot felt motivated to active service, which he often expressed in terms of duty. Boudinot's visions of a righteous republic was more than just an ideal. He actively worked to bring it about. In doing so, he demonstrated strong, salient connections between religious belief and political action. His life reveals much about both religion and politics in the new nation, as well as casting light on the outlook and experience of many American Presbyterians. As a leading Presbyterian, Boudinot's life and experience provides insights into how British North Americans of a Reformed persuasion could come to support the ideology and activities of the American Revolution. Historian Mark Noll has sought to problematize the relationship of the evangelicals to the ideology of republicanism, arguing that republicanism emerged from religiously skeptical individuals and challenged biblically legitimate monarchs, and so made for an uneasy ally for American Protestants. Boudinot believed divine providence was guiding the creation of the new nation. His life further proves important for understanding the politics of the early republic. He provides a window into how Presbyterians, along with other reform groups, located themselves in the new nation, divined their vision of citizenship, and participated in early national politics. His final formulation was to envision a righteous republic that was individual and social rather than structural or corporate. The righteousness of the republic would reside in individual hearts and in the interactions of civil society, apart from and previous to politics. This outlook would prevail for American Christianity through much of the 19th century. Other Presbyterian clergy in the American Revolution include William Tennant. He was widely known for his scholarly but forceful sermons. Alexander Garden had this to say about him. He said, "He boldly stepped forward the champion of liberty and independence. With zeal and eloquence, preached resistance, nor failed to support it with all his energies." Tennant argued that religious liberty could not be fully enjoyed without civil liberty. Tennant also goes on, to address the South Carolina Congress, and he discusses the separation or the freedom of religion among new Americans. He said, "Let it be a foundation article in your Constitution that there shall be no establishment of one religious denomination of Christians in preference to another, that none shall be obliged to pay to the support of worship in which they do not freely join." Presbyterianism in the new nation, people on both sides of the Atlantic often link the spirit of the revolution to the Presbyterian religion. All right. In a letter to his wife, John Adams noted the Presbyterian clergy engage in politics with a fervor that will produce wonderful effects. Thomas Jefferson noted the Presbyterian spirit is known to be so congenial with friendly liberty. In essence, the Presbyterian faith played a significant role in the American Revolution and the founding of our government and of our nation. Their ideas, their religious zeal, and their idea that um, God's plan and God's providence would lead the American people to get out of a relationship with Great Britain, who was not supporting individual freedoms, individual rights, and so on. Thank you.